I know you are a gaming affiliate and a gaming affiliate, as me. So I wanted to start hardly with a quote, which I like a lot, that iGaming is about fucking big money, but for sure it's not about easy money. Will you agree with that?
Yeah, definitely. I think anybody that's doing iGaming, whether that's affiliate or actually looking to set up like a gambling affiliate, a gambling website, be prepared to fail. Because there's going to be a lot of things that you're going to need to test out. There's going to be a lot of types of links that you want to test out, whether it's PR, Harrow, guest posting, link insertions. Essentially, what I say to everyone in my staff is if you went through the entire day and you didn't fail, that's something that we need to work on. Like every day, there's going to be a member of staff in my office, whether it's myself, and essentially, the more times you fail, the more times you learn, and you essentially don't make the same mistake over and over again. So yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I'm used, in iGaming in my first 2 years. Now, some exceptions, but still, if you went through all the path without failing, everything went good. That means all the geo is not so good, or the keyword is not so good. Something is wrong with your goal.
Yeah, definitely.
So about failing, we all, I think, experienced this. That was my main, let's say, not fear, but my main challenge at the beginning. I guess you faced it too. You create a beautiful gaming site. You put your soul into it. You bought a few backlinks, bought some text, and you are on page 2. You are not so far, but whatever you do, you are stuck and etc. You are like, position 19, position 10, position 11. You are not so far, but still you don't have traffic, and of course, no deposits, no leads, etc. So, what you did in such situations, what you will advise our readers to do?
Yeah, so there's two parts of the algorithm. There's obviously the link side of stuff, where essentially the more links you have pointing through to your website, the higher sometimes you rank. But then you've also got the content side of stuff. And I think I've mentioned this before, but let's say, for example, you are a library that talks about maybe 5 running shoes. You've got books on 5 running shoes, books on 10 hiking boots, and books on 4 high heels, right? And then somebody wants to essentially run a marathon in London. They won't be that inclined to go to your library, if, say, for example, there's another library that has 20 books just on running shoes, they're more likely to go to that library instead. And that's how essentially Google sees authority websites. So when it comes to like building content and building authority, it's super important that you build articles in one sub niche of the website, because iGaming as a whole could be anything. It could be betting, it could be casino, it could be slots. So it kind of comes down to you as the site owner on what articles you're publishing every month, whether you want to be multi-niche. If you are going to go into slots, casino, sports betting, football betting, then make sure that you do have a big content army to be uploading the articles every single month. Otherwise, you're just going to get destroyed. Because if you've got 5 articles on slots, a few articles on casino, and then a couple articles on sports betting, there's websites that cover the topic in its entirety. And if you're just not doing that from a content point of view, you're just going to get dominated. But then also from a link building point of view as well, if you're going up against a single niche website that's only talking about football betting, they're uploading articles every single weekend that's to do with the football, that's to do with the Premier League, and you're just uploading maybe 2-3 articles on football and Premier League, you're just not going to rank, and you're always going to be on position on page 2 and 3 and 4.
Okay, so your main advice here will be, instead of doing every single cluster, do a few ones, but do them really good, like cover all the fucking cluster, right?
Yeah, exactly that.
Okay, got it. So coming with the question about keywords, about clusters. I mean, I will quote a few ones. It would be nice if you can add something like bonuses, payment systems, slots, roulettes, blackjacks, of course, casino brand, all this brand traffic we like, and the generic keywords like best casinos online, trusted casinos online, etc. Which ones? Imagine like you are a newbie. Which one you will advise yourself to do like 10 years ago, according to the ROI, like the player value the cluster bring, and according, of course, to the hardship to be first on it.
So that would probably be the best. So like best casinos online or best sports betting online. Just the sheer amount of volume that you get from those keywords it's ridiculous. Now, some people would argue that the player value might not be the best, mainly because, say for example, we've just had the World Cup recently. We've just had Cheltenham lately. Those type of players sometimes only just bet on, for example, the World Cup or that event, and then they never bet again. So player value wise, yes, people might argue and say, well, the best keywords aren't always the best to go after for player value and for generating revenue. But I would argue that the sheer amount of volume that you get from those players is just ridiculous. Like there's probably like 20,000 people searching that a month. So yeah, I would go after best, even new as well. Sometimes, for example, players are searching for like new slot sites. They've already essentially played on like the older style slot websites, and they're just looking for like a new offer or a new website, or even sometimes a new website redesign as well.
Yeah, I got you. So yeah, all generic keywords. I'm on the same. I'm more what is a little bit different maybe on my approach is that I'm not looking so much about best casinos online, but I'm looking more, to do some trusted casinos online, like one I don't know, new casinos online, high RP slots, some more low volume keywords, but without concurrent. But that's pretty
good. One counter argument to that, because we've had this conversation as well in the office, because we've ranked for everything. The best casino sites or the best sports betting websites are typically the best as well at holding the players. So for example, if say for example you went and launched a casino brand tomorrow, right? You might not have SMS retargeting set up, you might not have special offers going out every month on your email. So like for example, Bet365, they're like a really good brand because they keep the players playing. So like for example, if there's Premier League on this weekend or if there's FA Cup on this weekend, they'll send you a text message. Or for example, if there's like a horse betting event, they'll send you an email and it's like, hey, Max, there's this special offer, bet 10 get 40 or bet 10 get 20. Not that many brands do that, and the brands that do end up doing stuff like that absolutely crush it from a player value point of view, because they're the ones that keep the players at like betting every single month, every single day. And essentially, if you're on lifetime rev share with some of the brands, you're going to end up getting a lot of money.
Yeah, that's true. The retention is one of the most important stuff. Personally, when I start to work with a casino, I think the main thing to a casino or sport bookmaker, the thing to ask them is, do you have the local language retention? Do you have local people in your call center speaking this language? So being sure that there's someone to call them, someone to make those email campaigns, etc. Because the meat of some online casino owners still thinks that you open the casino, you have the traffic, and that's it. They are going to play forever with you. Those players are forever with you, but no. And of course, when it doesn't happen, where is the problem? The traffic is the problem, not my casino. So
yeah.
Avoid that kind of situation. The best is to see what retention they have. So, what for you is the most important on iGaming SEO? What's the most, let's say, challenging part? We already a little bit told about it, but what would you call the most hard?
Sorry, do you mean from like an SEO point of view, or?
From every point of view.
Okay. So if you're an affiliate, making sure that all the offers are up to date and all the terms and conditions, because like we've got some of our websites have like 600 brands on them, and if they're updating T's and C's, if they're updating offers, that like you need to train an army up at some point to essentially go back in, update all the offers, make sure everything's up to date, because sometimes like brands will email you saying we need this changed and you've got 24 hours to change it. If you don't change it, your account's shut. And it's like, brilliant.
It's so even crypto.
Exactly. So make it like that. That's not much of a challenge, because obviously you can just hire staff, which is what we've done. But apart from that, from an SEO point of view, making sure that like the backlinks that you're acquiring are actually the ones that are pushing the needle. Luckily, we've essentially bought into a links and content agency called Searcheroo, and we've got like a trained team of like 35 link builders now that are all trained to our standard, because there's a lot of links that some of these casino websites are buying every month, like, and they're paying like $2,000-3,000 for, and it's not even like pushing the needle. So that, especially if you're just starting out, is super important. And then from like a content point of view, being able to scale content, and then also the process of uploading it to the website, again, like our brand is essentially taking care of that now, but 2-3 years ago we struggled massively with that. We didn't know what links we should be purchasing, we didn't know what content actually did help the website, we didn't know as much about authority wall. So like essentially breaking down authority wall, once you've broken down authority wall, it's just super easy to throw up a page. It gets indexed within 3 hours. You build maybe 1 or 2 links and you're in position 1 to 3, and those are the money making spots.
Got you. That's interesting, yeah, because keeping the site updated is true that it may seem easy, but yeah, when it's 1, 2, 10 brands, it's okay. But when it's starting to be 50 brands on like 20 sites, that's what we experience. Yes, it's fucking hard. And the problem is when you, for example, it's your top 5 position, you tell 1 bonus. But for us, the main challenge with that is not even about we bring the user to the wrong bonus. But for example, the casino is doing a promotion. Your concurrent is aware that promotion, for example, it was like, I don't know, 200% of bonus, now it's 500. But your competitor, it already put on his website 500, 500, 500. You're still with 200, and of course they're going to rank down because in terms of user intent, they are better than you.
Yeah, exactly that.
That's a little detail, but that's making everything. So about markets, how much markets you have now? Maybe you can tell some of them. It's mainly regulated markets or like unregulated markets?
We mainly do regulated markets, and the reason, so there's been a few brands that have reached out to us, mainly because we're getting like a lot of traffic now, and there's been a few brands that have reached out to us that have been unregulated, but typically speaking, the guys that we do have that are regulated on our websites, if you start promoting unregulated, they're going to end up essentially switching us off. So we've essentially built up a book of good player value. A lot of players we've sent out to sports betting websites, and we essentially don't want to lose that. So we don't do much in unregulated. I know that in most cases, the offers and stuff like that are a lot better. But yeah, we tend to stay away from unregulated. Got you.
Can you tell some of your markets?
We're literally in everything. So we've got a bingo site, we have a slot site, we have a casino site, we have a
geography. Sorry.
Oh, just UK at the minute.
Yeah.
So we are looking to dabble in Germany, France, and also Canada, because Canada's also being opened up. But we still haven't done that. Like there's already so many like improvements that can be made on the UK version of the website. So we're essentially chasing our own tails at this point. So we're making more improvements. We're uploading, let's say, 68 articles every 2 weeks, and every month we're like, right, next month we'll move into Canada, and then it just never happens.
Gotcha, gotcha. So for the moment, you have only a few big English websites, right?
Yeah.
And your market is UK, or you have other? I mean, with English, we would think you can cover a lot of markets. Even I guess you see it. A lot of European players come with English queries. So you treat. I mean, you have also some casinos for them, or you treat only English players.
Oh yeah, so definitely we've got. I'm fairly certain our top 3 websites all rank in Spain, and like accidentally they rank in Spain for the English phrases. So yeah, we get players from like EU. We get players. We also get some players from America as well, because obviously America is like super restricted. But primarily UK players.
Okay, got you. What was your most, let's say, surprising in good and bad way, of course, or in terms of player value? I would say markets. I mean, since you have a players from all the world, like maybe a poor country from where you have the fucking good player, on from the other side, a country which is rich but deposits are kind of low. You say.
So surprisingly, the player value that we've seen that is actually pretty high is like Eastern European countries. Like some of those guys just love to play poker like all day for 7 days. So some of those guys like yeah, I would say that that's probably been the most surprising. Mainly because like we just didn't expect it, but we like once we'd had like a breakdown of like the players that we've sent through with our affiliate managers, they're like, oh, can you guys get like more players in like Poland, or can you guys get more players in like Hungary and stuff like that? Because those guys are just absolutely like crushing it on poker, and sometimes they also dabble on slots as well, because like there's not much money in poker, but once they like get bored and then they're like, oh, I'll have a few spins on slots, that's when they lose the money essentially.
Okay, gotcha. That's interesting. So mainly your kind of miracle geos, if you call it like that, was Hungary, Poland, maybe some other Serbia or something like that.
Yeah, like I don't have the full list, but I remember specifically the affiliate manager said definitely Poland, definitely Hungary as well. There's probably a lot more countries in that region. I know that for example, Saudi Arabia, even though it's banned, there's still websites ranking there, and the player value on those guys is nuts.
Yeah, got it. I mean, when you know the punishment there for casino, I would be afraid to take players from there. You know?
Yeah, definitely.
every time I see affiliates talking about Emirates, such countries, I'm thinking, fuck, like if you get caught there for that, it's like bullshit. So that's sure. Anyway, yeah, but it's very interesting. And what's a bad surprise is like kind of super good developed, like rich countries, but where the player value is so. Maybe you can quote some of them.
Say that again. Sorry, your voice cut out.
Yeah, we spoke about surprising geos. We had 2 ones in a good way. What about the bad way? Like kind of, rich country where the player value is supposed to be good, but de facto is so.
This might come surprising, but I would say that the UK. So like, there's always new laws coming into the UK. There's like, for example, I remember when I first started out in IGB, players could use their credit cards, and they could just rack up like $5,000 on their credit card. Yeah. They've stopped doing that now. They've also like, so over time the UK is kind of getting worse and worse, but I guess it is for a good reason, because obviously we don't want everyone in the entire country to be gambling addicts, right? But they like every month they're trying to pass a new law. I believe they've passed a new law where like players are they can't do as much spins on the slot sites. So yeah, like the UK is getting worse and worse over time. But again, it's still super profitable. Like there's still a lot of money to be made. You just need to go about it the right way.
Okay, got you. About the UK, it wasn't in my program, but I wanted still, as a lot for UK regulations, to ask you a few questions. First of all, it was my fucking surprise in the UK. when I was in, we didn't met in IGB, but when I was in London for 2 weeks for IGB and to see some friends, I was of course working in parallel. And like my one guy of my team tell me, Max, can you find me that slot demo? I'm trying to look for the slots demo. For every slot demo, if you want to play, it wants your address, like your postal code, and check your identity. Like I couldn't find any single slot when I can play as a foreigner, without indicating my identity and truly check it. Like I'm trying to indicate myself. Of course, it tells no, you can't play. So I guess that yes, it's very. We really want only identified people to play, etc. What will you say about the fact? What I hear a lot. I speak to a lot of UK affiliates which are doing now. They came from GameStop casinos to non-GameStop casinos. Like they're mainly starting to promote offshore casinos, and I know that more and more players in UK now, it's around 30 or 40% because of regulations. They are mainly going to unregulated casinos because they are rid of the fact, you told it, they can't deposit how much as they want. They have limitations on everything. And I know that a lot of affiliates too, like BlitzStars, a big part of their brands now, they are mainly, if I'm right, non-GameStop brands. So what will you tell? What do you think about that? Are you planning one day to go out of the regulation and build also a website about non-GameStop casinos, and your opinion?
Yeah, so I think it's probably the most natural thing to do. So like a lot of these gambling websites, you need to remember that they all have investors and they all want an ROI, right? So if the UK is bringing in and the GameStop's also bringing in all these laws that's obviously cutting down on profit margins, the most logical thing for all these investors is to say, right, okay, let's try and break through this, whether that is going offshore, whether it's going unregulated. It's bound to happen, right? As for what I will be doing, potentially next year, I will be looking at going unregulated on an individual website, potentially. If, say, for example, all the brands started doing it, or all the good money-making brands started doing it, we might follow as an affiliate. But yeah, like it kind of does make sense, especially if you're an investor in one of these companies. Obviously, if, say, for example, you invest $1 million and you want a good ROI, and there is that option of going offshore, it's probably the most logical thing to do as a business owner.
Yeah, got you. 3 reasons why you haven't yet, 3 reasons why you prefer on your website to work with regulated brands instead to put some offshore brands which have a much higher share, much higher CPA, etc. I understand.
So going back to what I said before, we obviously have a big book that we have with certain brands. So essentially, we don't want to piss any of those brands off by advertising unregulated. So that would be reason number one. Reason number two is
excuse me to cut you, just to make a clear explanation to our audience. In UK, if you can't have together regulated and unregulated brands, right, on the same website.
So it's kind of a grey area. Some brands don't like it. Some brands allow it. Because we have 600 brands on our websites. Like, there's a lot of if, buts, and maybes if we start promoting unregulated.
Okay, I got you. Continue. Sorry.
Yeah, no worries. Reason number two is because reason number two is because I've personally heard some horror stories where, like, for example, there's been some affiliates that have sent upwards of 1,000 FTDs to some of these unregulated brands, and essentially they've not been paid out. So we do. So I do get the point where, yes, these unregulated brands do offer a lot more money. And I'm sure there are some really good unregulated brands that do pay out on time, that are trusted. But essentially, when you are somewhat at risk, I don't like doing that. So yeah. And then reason number three, I'm I don't know a third reason. Those are probably the two biggest reasons for my team. I run these websites as businesses. I don't see them as SEO projects. So if, say, for example, there's two opportunities, opportunity one, I know I'm going to be able to earn, let's say, 30,000 US the next month, and opportunity number two is maybe 60,000 US, but there is a slight chance that I might not get that money, then obviously I'm going to pick opportunity number one.
Yeah, of course, I got you. Speaking also about, you told an important problem here, about the fact that not being paid by a brand, etc. But the interesting thing here, that's more my own experience, that personally we work 50%, I would say, of our portfolio is geos as UK, not UK, but similar geos when there is a local license, local brand, etc. We work with them. Our percent, it's like some geos of Latin where there is no regulation, so we can work with every single brand, Curacao, etc. There's just no law about it. The thing is, what we faced about it is that regulated brand, much often, also because of regulation, they change the rules in the game. For example, it was 50% of our share. Tomorrow it will be 35 because of something. And what we faced, and I would like to hear your experience here, is that much more oftener regulated brands do it because they have other channels of promotion, because affiliate are not so important to them, because they still have TV, radio, etc. And because of simply they have other expenses. They don't have only providers and affiliate. They have taxes to pay, they have to comply to regulations, etc. And I will even tell you our statistic here that 80% of issues about changing the rules during the game, it was with regulated brands. Do you experience something like that? And what's your opinion about that?
Yeah, so like there's been brands, I won't mention any names, where they have just randomly picked up changed like the offer and stuff like that. Like it does happen. It's I guess it's kind of the nature of the beast to say. So yeah, it definitely does happen. There's been like I class myself as quite a big affiliate for some of these brands. Mm-hmm. And they like when you become a bigger affiliate, they kind of respect you a little bit more, and they give you a little bit more leeway. When you're a small fry, they do kind of push you about. So I would say that if anybody is looking into getting into IGB affiliate, do bear that in mind. Although it is a very profitable niche to enter, you do also get some affiliate managers that will try and push you about. You kind of do need to stand your own ground. Apart from that, really, the biggest piece of advice is to become a bigger affiliate where they do give you a little bit more respect, where they do give you custom offers and stuff like that as well.
What is the big affiliate for you in terms of, let's say, tier 1 geo of TD? From 100, from 200, from how much of TD you become big?
Again, that depends on the brand. So, like for example, Bet365, like you're probably not a big face unless you're sending them, let's say, 500 to 1,000 FTDs a month. Mm-hmm. But for example, if you were to do affiliate for a smaller brand, 500 to 1,000, you would be their biggest affiliate. Like you would be number one affiliate for some of those brands. But yeah, it comes down to, again, like what niche you're in, what who you're sending the actual outbound clicks through to, and also what geo you're in as well. Because I know that, for example, if you were to send 1,000 FTDs from, for example, Poland to anyone, you're going to be like the biggest Polish affiliate.
That's true. That will also be that was also what I faced mainly in crypto. You have a so big difference in treatment when you talk to brands which are small, which let's say in crypto you divide by 10 the amount of FTDs because it's like crypto. From 10 FTDs you can become a big affiliate for them, or like eToro or big names. You can send them 100 and 100. It will be the same CPA, same conditions, same story, but that's our terms. So yeah. That's also a strategy to work with more smaller brands. Now about the deal in itself. We spoke a lot about the deals here. Which deal you prefer? Rev share, CPA, hybrid? Why? Tell something about your experience with that.
So I get asked this a lot, it comes down to the brand. So for example, if I know I'm sending 50 clicks to max bets, right? Like for example, if you set up your own brand, and if I know that your lifetime value your player value is really high, like you have email marketing set up, you send regular text messages, you essentially just like mither the player as much as you can to essentially keep betting, or keep playing slots or whatever. I would definitely do a lifetime rev share with you, or a rev share type deal, and also like a hybrid. So like for example, I might get, let's say, £50, and then also let's say 20, 30, 40% lifetime rev share. So that's for example a brand that has all of those things set up. Whereas if, say for example, I have a brand that I know the player value isn't the greatest, they might, let's say for example, place a bet a couple times and then just leave. For those, I would do like CPA. So for example, that might be like, I don't know, £100 CPA or £200 CPA.
Okay, gotcha. What about your biggest profit per player on RevShare? Like a player which bring you the most of money?
What one that stands out, or just in general?
No, just one. We like your player which has the record of amount of profit for you.
All right. Yeah, we had a guy that lost £65,000, which is about what, 100,000 US. At the time, it was about 100,000 US, and he lost it in 2 days.
So £600. It's around $800, right?
No, 65,000.
£65,000.
Okay. Yeah.
But, that's quite interesting about the stuff, because, for example, I got an interview with an affiliate from Russia. I mean, he's not from Russia, but he is on the Russian market, and he told me he got a player who lost around two or 300 US dollars. And I guess on those tier 1 jails, you have the average, which is much higher on the Eastern Europe, but you don't have a so big equity like you. I was waiting for a number of 1 million, 2 million on UK, but that's more.
No, I get. Weirdly, this guy wasn't from the UK. Again, I'm not sure how much I can share, but yeah, he lost like a stupid amount, and it was within 2 days as well. So yeah, he basically signed up, played for like maybe, I don't know, an hour or something, lost, then decided to try and win the money back the next day and lost again. So yeah.
Gotcha. About the content, I know you have a team of writers. So do you mainly hire like some kind of special iGaming writers, or do you mainly hire writers with creativity, like with the soft skills, and then you train them to iGaming? What's your procedure to have the good content?
So we actually do both. Searcheroo is like my content brand, and we primarily don't like to promote the content, because I like to use the content writers for my own projects. So like Searcheroo does, we also have clients as well that we do link building and content for. But when it comes to actually the hiring process of the content writers, we essentially look for just general content writers that know how to do well-documented research. So for example, if I was to give a content writer a topic tomorrow talking about spaceships, they'll be able to go and write it and do the research for it. But in some cases, the guys that do actually have like an interest in the actual article, they will become our editors. So like they'll essentially get promoted, and they'll then have like a team of like 8 content writers underneath them, and they'll essentially manage the other content writers.
Not really linked with content, but still, as you have iGaming websites, and the other part is link building. So do you have some kind of outreach issues, and did you try, because some outreach sites don't want of you because you are a casino, and did you try maybe some kind of natural outreach?
Yeah, so I'm gonna sound like a white hat here, and I'm definitely not a white hat SEO. I'm kind of in the middle. So one thing that we started to do, and this was probably about 2 years ago, is we would build out some really high statistic pages. So, like for example, the most goals scored by an Argentinian player in the World Cup, right? We'll have some like crazy infographic, something like that, and we would essentially pitch to some guys that do like PR, some guys that do a lot of like match betting statistics or match betting like highlights and stuff like that, and they will essentially link to that infographic, or in some cases they will use that infographic on their website and they would essentially credit the source and link back to our website. So we've done stuff like that. However, I'm not going to lie, it is much more of a manual and slower process. I generally prefer to just pay for the links and just be done with it. I like speed, so everything needs to be done within 24 hours. So yeah, I typically, like for example, we've got we've got 35 link builders at Searcheroo. They will go out and outreach to as many websites, and if they can't find gambling accepted guest posts, they will find someone that will link back to us. So yeah.
I got you. What's the price you paid averagely per link in UK?
Average, it's probably went up in the past years. Like I remember maybe 3-4 years ago, we were able to buy links for like $150. Now it's probably triple, quadruple that, $450. We do like a lot of we do a lot of tiered link building as well. So like, for example, a lot of guys think they'll go and just buy a load of guest posts and that's it. We actually superpower some of our guest posts with building more tier 2s through to the initial guest posts. So for example, if I have a link on Forbes and you have a link on Forbes, but mine has, let's say, 20 tier 2s going through to it, I have a more powerful link from Forbes. So the guest post might, let's say, cost $500, and then all the tier 2s for that might cost an additional, let's say, $200. So in total, that link alone has essentially cost you $700, but it's a super powerful, it's kind of like a superhero link.
Got it. You do the tier 2 with your own PBNs or with, how do you do your tier 2?
We actually don't use PBNs. I know that, like, I know for a fact, like, I wish I was in Russian market. I wish I was in like the Eastern European markets, because it's so much cheaper to build out websites there. Like, I have seen a lot of Russian gambling affiliate sites, or a lot of Russian actual casino sites as well. And all they do, like, is maybe build $5,000 worth of PBNs. Mm-hmm. And done. Like, I wish stuff like that would work in the UK, but unfortunately it doesn't. So for our tier 2s, we mainly do like link insertions. They're not as relevant, but obviously if they're pointing through to a guest post, which then points through to your money site, mm-hmm. then it becomes a super relevant guest post. Apart from that, really, like there's guys that still do like GSA and Web 2.0s for their tier 2s. I don't recommend that, even in like the Russian markets, Thai markets, Dubai markets. Don't do that. Like, I've never seen that work. I would love for someone to email me after this podcast and prove me wrong. Feel free to do that. But yeah, I personally haven't seen that work. Not in a long time anyway.
I got you. So a link plus minus, it costs you a good link, 700. Now speaking about the content, how much do you pay per 100 words? I know that you have salaries. Maybe it's hard to count, but maybe you did the count with the salaries, with all that stuff. How much 100 of good words are coming to you?
So I wouldn't be able to tell you for 100 words. Like, we mainly do 1,000 words, and for 1,000 we do, I believe it's $50, $50 or $60, but it's like really good. Like, it's server optimized. It's essentially ready to be uploaded to the website. It's well researched, server optimized. In some cases, it's even goes through phrase.io, if anybody knows that, and also MarketMuse. MarketMuse for questions and stuff, like, it's ridiculous some of the questions it brings back.
Okay, I got you. That's a price to sell articles, or that's a price it costs to you?
So that's the price that we sell articles, but with our articles, like, I think we barely make any profit on them. That's why I don't like pushing the actual content side of stuff for the agency. We know it's important. We know that our clients need it, so we provide it. But we, like, for example, we probably make $5-10 on articles if someone orders 1,000 words.
So if we speak about an affiliate site, you will say to make a good article, it will be around $50-60 per article, plus minus, but if it's 1,000 words. A good guest post at $700, $400-500 without tier 2, adding to 300 for 10 insertions, $20-30 per insertion, right? Something like that. So
yeah.
Mathematics, you will say for a gaming website in UK, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now, how much of, let's say, I want to build a website about, I don't know, let's take a more easier, let's say Casino Visa. I want to do a website about Casino Visa, like a payment system, a PSP cluster. How much I think you need, you think plus minus, I need articles, how much you think I need links for it, for a mini?
So Casino Visa, I'm not actually that familiar with that. Is Casino Visa like the
provider? Yeah. All casinos with Visa.
Ah, right. Okay. Right. Okay. So I
don't know if it's a good cluster for UK. We can take it on a welcome bonus casino, some more lighter cluster than best online casinos.
No. So you would probably need, let's say, 20 articles, give or take. These are all estimations, right? Because, for example, a lot of guys will just go and build online casinos for Visa, right? And they're like, right, brilliant, let's do some link building. And it's like, no, you're not even ready for links yet. You need to make certain that topic in itself is completely covered. So, like, you're going to need casino for Visa, casino for MasterCard, casino for PayPal, casino for Apple Pay. So all of these articles, right? There might be, let's say, 25 different payment methods. Once you've got all those 25, we'll say minimum 2,000 words, right? Then you'll essentially need, let's say, I don't think every single one of those pages need links. I would potentially build links to the hub page and see what actually ends up ranking. So I would do maybe, like, let's say 10 link insertions. I wouldn't do guest posts just yet. So once you've then got, like, the 10 link insertions through to the hub page, then I would probably just leave that silo, just forget about it for like 2 months, and then I would then look at, like, the online casino or online casinos for Visa page, see where that ranks, and that's when I would do guest posts. So I have a very different link building approach to quite a lot of other guys, whereas I try to, like, minimize the cost of links, as opposed to some guys would just go and build like 35 links through to that silo. I try and do the least amount that's actually necessary, because you might not even need 35 links. You might only need 15, 20 links. Why build 35, right? So that's the approach that I would do. So I would do, like, online payment methods, or / online payment methods. I would list all 25 payment providers, so like Visa, MasterCard, Apple Pay, blah, etc., etc. Then for the online payment methods page, I would build 10 link insertions, leave that silo for like maybe 2 months, and then I would then come in and say, right, okay, online casinos for Apple Pay is ranking position 5. Let's do one guest post for that, and then leave that. So that's kind of the approach that I would take. So from a cost point of view, maybe, I don't know, it might cost like $3,000-4,000 for that.
I got you. Nice test. $3-4K per test. Okay, not so expensive.
Yeah.
Today it's like what? It's like let's say 10 restaurants, or I don't know, 3 travels. Yeah, or a site which can bring you profit for years. Yeah. So bad. A little advertising. So also another thing I wanted to ask here. You spoke a lot about insertions. So let's make guest post insertions. What's there is a price difference. It's around 50%, if I'm not mistaken, difference of pricing, or you have average. Maybe you will tell me it's more. What for you the difference is not for you a problem, but for me the main problem with insertion is it's then hard to find an insertion which is speaking about casinos. So mainly it will be other topics. Is it not a problem? How do you deal with insertions? And tell me.
Yeah, so this is what I mean. So a lot of guys don't like to do the link insertions in the gambling space for that reason. That's why I would never do a link insertion to a page that I actually care about ranking. The online payment methods page, like you don't really care about ranking for online payment methods. What is that? There's no intent behind that, right? So that's essentially the hub page that's holding all the pages that you actually do care about. So like Apple Pay, casino sites, right? That's those pages there I would build guest posts through to. But the actual hub page where it's just online payment methods, it's talking about the different payment methods that all these gambling affiliate sites use. I don't care about ranking that page. What I do care about is building as much power through to that page. It's almost as if it's a second homepage. So the biggest thing when it comes to ranking a website is building as much link power through to the homepage. That's why when you look at websites for Ahrefs and Majestic, the homepage has the highest trust floor, the highest DR, right? Whereas if you look at page level, the page rating or the page authority, I know that people don't use Moz anymore, but page authority does still matter. That's why the hub pages should have a lot of trust flow, should have a lot of page authority, which then gets passed down to all of your other ranking pages.
Gotcha. That's interesting approach. Yeah. So linking to hub pages, to those pages you need to link for, but you don't wait for them to rank. All insertions, all that kind of trust links without really thematic signal, and to their money pages you link the guest post. Also, the same will apply for informational pages. For example, informational pages which should rank, but it doesn't bring you all the guides here. The guides doesn't really bring you a good players. It's more about informational query. For them, you can also make insertions, right?
So sorry, say that again. So
in all informational pages, which are supposed to rank, but they don't really bring you players. They more bring you visitors who are interested in information. For them, you'll make more insertions or still guest posts.
So for those, I would do a mix. Typically speaking, an approach that I do for like informational pages is because, say for example, if you're going up against casino.org, right? If you were to go and look at their informational pages, more than definitely they have also been doing link building. So for those links, I would do correlation of the links that they have. But say for example, they have like 2 guest posts. I would do 2 guest posts and then maybe 1 link insertion as well to pass a little bit more power.
Tell me about the structure in your company. How is it structured, all the stuff, and how do you look for people?
Yeah, so for anybody that doesn't know what I do or who I am, we have like various different divisions. So we have gambling affiliates, like probably the smallest moneymaker in the actual business, which is really surprising to people because we've got 650 rank and rent websites. We have a content and link building agency, and then we've got the PPC side of stuff. We have the Facebook ads agency, and we also have the call center as well. So, for example, there's various different hiring processes. So if they are in the actual office, what we typically...
You told the very interesting things here. I think many ones would like to clarify. You told the iGaming websites is the less profitable. So what's your best profitable businesses?
Probably the lead generation and PPC. So we have a call center with 200 staff, all hired. And essentially what they do is they get a lead. It might be for law, it might be for conservatories, etc., they have a KPI of less than 60 seconds. They need to pick up the phone and essentially sell whatever that guy is needing. So whether it's law advice, whether it's debt advice, whatever that is, they essentially need to do it. So yeah, for that, the hiring process for that is very different to like the hiring process for like SEOs. That's why I wanted to highlight that as well. But yeah, like that stuff, we probably spend over £1 million a month on PPC in the UK. And then that's also combined with the 650 rank and rent websites. Those are SEO websites.
What are your most profitable thematics for SEO websites?
The most profitable.
You told me you have more than 600 ranking SEO websites. So what are your most profitable niches in SEO?
There's a lot of stuff. So like for example, we do a lot of hair transplant. We do a lot of dentist niches as well. So like people looking for veneers, we'll fly them out to Turkey, or in some cases they'll come down to London. So niches like that are just ridiculous. But yeah, like those, we probably get about 650, 700 inquiries for like hair transplant, for teeth implants, anything like that. Like we just send them through. To like we also part own a dental company down in London and also in Manchester. And then we've also got shares in a company in Turkey as well that does like the hair transplant. They also do the teeth implants as well. So essentially we're kind of doing lead generation for ourselves. It's kind of like if you were to own a gambling affiliate website and also own the gambling brand that you're sending the clicks through to, just think of how much more money that you would make. So
yeah, so here we have proof that it's not the best SEO who will be in the Lambo, but the smartest guy.
Yeah, definitely.
Agency SEO vs affiliate SEO. Can you tell me pro and cons, and what do you prefer, if I may say like that, as you are really the perfect fit, you have this and this. So what's the difference? What would you advise a newbie to start in? And
affiliate SEO as opposed to agency SEO. So agency SEO, if you were to go and let's say sign up 10 clients tomorrow for $1,000 each, you're going to be making, let's say, at least 5,000, right? So 50% goes on cost, you're pocketing 5. Whereas if you're doing affiliate SEO, I would probably say the first 12 months of the website is just money out, money out, money out. Unless like you have like some super black hat trick that ranks you position 1. Overnight, which I don't think many people do. There are definitely some people that do, but yeah, like actually building an established brand, an established affiliate website that you want to try and sell in, let's say, 2-3 years time to an investor, doing something like that will take time, and probably for the first 12 or 6 to 12 months, you're not going to make that much of a profit actually like within your pocket. Whereas agency SEO, if you go and sign up 10 clients, you're going to make, let's say, 50% of that minimum, right? So I would say that that's probably the biggest advantage. But if like agency SEO does come with a lot of headaches, clients kicking off, especially if they're not the correct type of client for SEO. I know that some business owners, they aren't patient. They want results when in a week. And for a low budget as well. So you do get that issue. But the pros for affiliate SEO is, okay, you might not make that much money in the first 6 months, but when you come to sell the website, like the multipliers are ridiculous, like 3 years multipliers, 4 years multipliers. If say, for example, you do a SaaS, in some cases, it's even 7 years multiplier. So yeah.
Do with you, it's like I do you two stuff, you choose one of those, okay? This or that, okay? So 10K per month with offshore casinos or 3K per month with legit casinos?
3K regulated, because I know the industry and I know the niche. But if I knew more about unregulated, I know that there are brilliant unregulated brands. I would go after unregulated, but I just don't know all the brands. Like regulated, it's like I know all the brands, what keywords work best, and what player values and what geos and stuff like that work best. So I would stick with regulated, but I can definitely understand why someone would pick unregulated.
Okay, CPA right now or a share, which will be in profit compared to the CPA 2 years after. Let's put it differently. 200 euro, 200 pounds right now, or 300 in 2 years.
£200 right now.
Okay. DR70 outreach link, or five DR70 outreach links, or one DR45 link from your competitor.
One DR45 from a competitor, and I'll go into the reason as to why that is, right? So many people think that DR is the beyond and end all metric, but I have, like, there's been so many websites in the past 12 months that I've seen. You can literally go and get a blast off Fiverr that increases DR to 80 for $60. So don't look at DR. DR's like, it's a good metric once you combine it with other things, but just looking at DR, don't do that.
Okay. Got it. We'll do in our podcast, I think, if you wish, about link outreach, like how to select links, etc. I want to do it now, but I know it's a so deep subject, we need to cover it separately. Okay, negative carryover on ref share, like a big one for the month, or a big dispute with your girlfriend.
A big dispute with my girlfriend. The reason why I say that is because some of the negative turnovers is just ridiculous. So yeah, I'd rather just deal with the girlfriend. You can replace a girlfriend. You can't replace an affiliate account. Come on.
It depends on the girlfriend, I will say, but yeah. An amazing text or a shitty text but satisfy the user intent.
Satisfy the user intent.
Okay, got it. Okay, Kasra, thanks for the interview, but it was really amazing. I will put it on YouTube and then convert it in text. I will tell you when it's live, and that's it.